Now, CISSP change their syllabus in every 3 years, and the new revision happening in 2021 in May. Now, if you can see, 16% was there in 2015, and it was revised in 2015 in 2018. Sorry, 15% in 2018. And in 2021, they have kept the same, which is called 15%. What is the changes? We'll discuss later. Now, if you see that asset security, 10%, 10%. In 2021, still they have maintained the 10%. Security architecture engineering, 12% was there in 2015, 13% is there in the 2018. Still, they have maintained the same 13% in 2021. 2015, 12%, 14% in 2018, but again they have changed to 13% in 2021. Identity access management, 13, 13, 13, again 13%. Security assessment, they have upgrade 11%, 12%, and same they have kept in 2021. Security operation 16%, 13%, they kept again 13%. And 10%, they increase by 1%, which is called 11%. What? 2021. So this is the 2021 syllabus. Now if you can see here, this is same. In domain 1, they're talking about the security and risk management. They also discuss about understand and apply the security concepts. So we are going to discuss about the comparison which is happening between the 2021 and 2020. 2021 versus, so 2018 versus 2021. Okay, so we are doing a comparison between 2018 versus 2021. Is that clear? So in domain 1, we are talking about the security and risk management. This topic, which is called Code of Professional Ethics, is very important because in this section, it is still there in a 2018 also and 2021. So in this section, they have talked about the PAPA. PAPA is the canon, and this is something is mandatory element in CISSP. Every CISSP aspirant should know canon. It means do and don'ts. Okay, in the IC square. See, IC square want their person should be neat and clean. Okay, from his ethics, from a society point of view and all that. What do you think when you clear this exam? Do you think so your colleagues will be happy? Once you clear this exam, do you think your colleague will be happy? I'm sure no. And once you clear the exam, they will think you are the Albert Einstein. Because next day onward, they start asking some question from a security. Oh, Sayyid, you don't know this? I don't know how you did your CISSP. They forget that, okay, CISSP is not something cover every security part. It just cover the high level aspect of the security management. Understood? So that kind of a leg pulling will be there. And what is the expectation of IC square is, make sure you should be up to date with the new threats, new issues and all that. That's why they have created the CP points and everything. And that is one of the requirement of the canon, that you should never lie, up to date your knowledge, be honest, okay, don't kill someone, don't hit someone, and you should not be involved in any activity which basically have a brand image or it basically impact the brand image of IC square. Is that point clear? So code of ethics is very important for the exam. Then they introduce the security concepts. There's no change in that. It was there in a 2018 syllabus and it is also there in a 2021 syllabus, which is called as a confidentiality, integrity, availability. Okay, where we're going to discuss about confidentiality, what is confidentiality, what is integrity, what is availability. Is everyone aware about this? CIA, confidentiality, integrity, availability, authenticity and all that? Excellent. So you guys are master. We just discussed, remember? Forget. Remember forget principle. Separation of this called principle of a least privilege. Principle of least privilege is an example of integrity or confidentiality. See, it is confidentiality. It is confidentiality. We're going to discuss, don't worry. Okay, why I'm saying we're going to discuss that. We're going to discuss that. Okay. So that's why I said you have to erase your information, what you have learned, and think from a CISSP point of view. Okay. So we're going to discuss about confidentiality. We're going to discuss about the integrity. We're going to discuss about the availability, authenticity, non-repudiation, which is a part of the new syllabus. Then the next part is evaluate and apply security governance principle. This is the same topic is there in a 2018 also. And in 2021, there's no change. Everything is same. Okay. Due care and due diligence is important from the exam point of view. You need to have a good understanding of the security functions. You should know the role of a security governance during acquisition and divestitures that we're going to cover. In 2018 also, in 2021, this part is also same. Determine the compliance and other requirement, where we're going to discuss about legal industry standards, regulatory requirement. We also have topics on privacy requirement. I'm sure in the new syllabus of CISSP, they might discuss about GDPR in more detail. Okay. Then there is a one regulation we have in US for a California. What is the name of the regulation? CCPA. So you need to have a good understanding of a CCPA, high level understanding of a CCPA from the exam point of view. Okay, so GDPR is there, CCPA is there, which is a new part in the 2021 syllabus. Okay. Then when you're talking about this cybercrime, this section 1.5, okay, in 2018 and in 2021, it is same. Okay. Intellectual property is important in this. We're going to discuss about trade secret, copyright, trademark. Okay. Trade secret, patent, copyright, trademark, all are important. Then we need to understand the international restriction, which is called ITAR. It is still same in 2018, 2021. Trans-border data flow. Okay. Then privacy principles, OECD is very important for the exam. Then we have understand the requirement for investigation type. Okay. Administrative criminal. This part was there in the domain 7 in the previous syllabus. They added in the first syllabus only, first section only, which is called investigation type. Okay. Example like when we have contract disputes, so civil investigation we have to follow. Someone hacked my system, then criminal investigation will follow. Internally we have to do some investigation. That's why we follow the administrative investigation. In the previous syllabus, it was a part of a it was a part of a domain 7, a security operation, but in this particular syllabus of 2021, they have added in the domain 1. Then we have a developed document policy procedure guideline. Policy is a driving factor for any organization. So policy standard procedure guideline is very important for the exam. When you introduce any kind of a process in the organization, the first thing what you introduce is a policy. Okay. The first thing what you introduce is a policy, because policy is the commitment from the management. Every system must be protected with the password. That is a policy. Password must be 8 character. That is a standard. How to follow 8 character. That is a procedure. Okay. Make sure you should not follow the family names and all that. That is a guideline. So this is also very important. Then business continuity. Is it important post-COVID or during COVID-19 people are working from home? What do you think? BCP is important? Definitely BCP is important. This is same as 2018 syllabus. No change in that. They covered the BIA. They talk about the scope and planning. Here we're going to discuss about MTD RTO. So we need to have a good understanding of MTD. What is MTD? We'll discuss later in my next sections. We have RTO, recovery time objectives. Ultimate goal of a BCP is to restore everything within a defined MTD, because if you exceed the MTD, then it is a loss. So that is important. Then we have a contribute to enforce personal security policy. In this section, this is also the same, which is there in a 2018 syllabus. No change in that. So we have an internal threat. Who is the biggest threat for us? employee, malicious employee. Insider threat is always dangerous, right? Insider threat is always dangerous. So how can we how can we reduce the internal threat by hiring the right set of person? Okay, so in this section, which is called as a contribute to enforce personal security policy and procedure, okay, it's starting from the hiring a right set of person. During onboarding them, make sure he should be aware about the policies, and when we terminate the person, for the complete process. So we're going to discuss all those things. Risk management, strange part, everything is same. In whatever was there in a 2018, in 2021, it was same, where we have a risk response, risk assessment, risk framework, control assessment. It's very important, which is called as a control type. Control type is very important. Risk framework is also very important. Along with that, we have a different type of risk response: acceptance, transfer, avoid, and mitigate. So that is important. Then understand the threat modeling. Here we have a STRIDE, quite important for the exam, and PASTA. Okay. Make sure when you're preparing for CISSP, give more attention to STRIDE framework, especially their full form. This is same as 2018 syllabus. Supply chain risk assessment, it is also same, which is there in the previous syllabus of 2018. This particular part, which is called 112, when I say this topic, it is my suggestion that, okay, this particular topic is, you can merge with the domain 8 SDLC COT section, commercial off-the-shelf software. Whenever we procure any kind of a commercial off-the-shelf software, before that we do the assessment of a supplier, we do the risk assessment for entire supply chain, and what are the elements we include in that, okay, that we're going to cover in this section. So risk assessment of the supplier, what is a common agreement, service level agreement, what need to be included in the service level agreement, what is the important clause in the service level agreement. We are going to cover all those points, and it is same like 2018 syllabus. Then when it comes to 1.13, which is called as establish and manage security awareness and education. So in this section, they have introduced one new topic, which is called as a security champion and gamification. Security champion. Have you heard about the security champion? Security champion. See, security champion is basically, it's in some organization they have given this, okay? So first of all, what is security champion? There is no one specific definition, as a role has evolved over the time, okay? So when the first term appeared about 5 years ago, security champion were a part of the application security or a development team, okay? And job was to learn or understand the basic security issues. So this champion would basically helps to bridge the gap between the development and security. But now the security champion is the one who basically set up the security awareness education program. He working with the designated security officer, okay, who developed the entire security protocols, developed the plan, and he is the one who basically drive that particular training and awareness in the organization. Is it clear? So if your organization is large, there may be network of a security champion that need to be connected with each other, and make it easy for them by creating a special online group, email threads, and constantly banging those people with the multiple emails and all that. So role of a security champion is treated as a temporary position, which mean that less of commitment, and perhaps encourage more applicants, and this allow you over the time to train more employees about the security, result in a better overall vigilance and some kind of a great sense of responsibility. Is that point clear? So ultimately, he is responsible for driving the security awareness trainings in the organization. Okay. We have another thing which is called as a gamification. Have you heard about gamification? So we have an application of a game design element, okay, and it has some phishing exercise. Have you heard about phishing exercise? In phishing exercise, we have a phishing and all that. You receive some emails, you click on that, then people will get to know, okay, these people has clicked on this. So gamification is an application of a game design element, and game design, which is basically non-context, and nowadays it become a very common in the information security industries. So what is gamification? What need to be included in the gamification? That is covered in the new syllabus of the CISSP. Is it clear? Gamification cybersecurity we called. And there is a dedicated NIST standard for that. You know what need to be included in that. Okay. There's a dedicated standard for that which NIST has introduced and talk about the required parameter and all that. Gamifications. Okay. Which is called as a gamification for IT security and awareness. Just give me a second. So normally what happen in the gamification, they will give you one scenario, they will give you a quiz, you need to solve it, okay, where your thinking power to engage the user in solving the problems and motivate them by introducing element of competition and awards. So that is the new part which is introduced in the 2021 syllabus. And gamification has a tremendous opportunity now in the information security market also, which basically every company adopt to make sure they can train their employees on the new threats and everything. Is it clear, team? So we have a visual aids, short points, rewards are there, and AI and machine learning they involved there. Okay, they engage the engagements, online training, online gamings are there, which basically used to give you a scenario of the threat and you know how to handle that. That is part of the new syllabus of 2021 syllabus, which is called gamification. So summary is, in domain 1, only new topic which was introduced was they have replaced the domain 7 some content and added in the domain 1, which is called investigation type. Introduce a second important thing which is called as a security champion and gamifications. And third thing is that they have just refurnished some of the course outline by introducing a new privacy law which is called CCPA in the new syllabus of 2021 standard. I'm sure you get a better visibility about now domain 1, what we're going to cover in the domain 1. Is it feeling boring and all that? That InfoSec team told today is the first day he should teach something. It's very important for us to know what is the course outline. Okay. So secure domain 1, we talk about the building governance. Okay. Once the governance is ready, we're coming back to the next part, which is called as a domain 2. Now governance is ready. Now what is next? After building a governance, we need to protect the assets. So in domain 2, we have identify, classify information asset. This is same in 2018 syllabus also. It is same. Data classification, asset classification, and establish information and asset handling requirement. They basically also kept same in the new syllabus also and old syllabus also. When you're talking about information asset ownership, asset inventory, asset management, this is also same in the 2018 and 2021. So in 2021 also it's the same syllabus. What they have did, they have given one new heading which is called as a data lifecycle. Actually in the 2018 syllabus we have a data remanence, okay, we have a data roles, and we have a data collection. Okay, but in 2021 they have given the dedicated tagline to that, which is called as a managed data lifecycle. See, in the data lifecycle we have a CSUSAD, which is called as a create, store, use, share, archive, and destroy. So this is the life cycle of the data. So who is responsible for what in this, that we need to understand. So we have a owner, we have a custodian, which is a US term, controller and processor is a Europe term. In GDPR it is mentioned. User and subject is the one who access that. So what are the roles? We're going to understand that, and it is quite testable also. What is the limitation in the collection of a data? Because in the previous labels, which is called 2018, they were talking about collection limitation from the OECD and GDPR point of view. This time they are given the separate topic which is called data collection, do and don'ts in data collection, and from which location you're collecting data, law of the land will be applicable or not. Then data maintenance is the new part which was not there in the 2018 syllabus. How to maintain data? We have a data maintenance cycle. Data retention was there but not fully, so they have given the new tagline which is called as a data retention, which is not there in the previous syllabus. Data remnants was there in the previous syllabus. They introduced in new syllabus also crypto shredding, degaussing, sanitization. These are the techniques we have, how to destroy data. They have kept this topic separately as a data destruction, which was not there in the previous syllabus of the 2018. Then they have a appropriate asset retention. Okay, it was there in the previous syllabus, and it is also there in the new syllabus. But in the new syllabus, they introduced one principle which is called as end of life. Is it English term or it's an actual concept we use? End of life. End of life and end of support. End of life and end of support. Both are same. End of life and end of support. End of life means this device need to be destroyed after this point of time. That is called end of life. This device still you can able to use, but we will not going to support that. Is it clear? So end of life we used in the OEM, right? Is it true? Is it a OEM term? End of life? End of life is a term OEM used to indicate the piece of equipment has reached the end of its useful life and will no longer market or sell or update equipment after the specified date. So during the EOL phase, the manufacturer may still offer the maintenance option but at some kind of a premium price. Is it clear? But when you're talking about the end of support, what is end of support? What is end of support? So end of support is nothing. It is basically mark the official withdrawal of the technical support for the specific version of the services. After the cloud computings and new products are coming in the market, they introduce these terms, and we are using these terms in our SLAs also. Is it clear? That is why it was not there in the previous syllabus, and this because in the previous syllabus they were talking about more like a retention policy. We need to retain data, but now they're talking about service retention, product retention, data retention. That's why we use this part called end of support and end of life. Clear? So that is a part of a new syllabus. Then data stages was there. Okay, scoping and tailoring was there. Scoping and tailoring mean whenever you're creating a baseline of the controls, okay, we do the scoping and tailoring. First we scope what we need to include and tailor it as per your requirement. So scoping and tailoring was a part there in the 2018 and it is also in 2021. Standard and selection also there in the 2018 and also in the 2021. CASB was there in a domain 3. Okay, DLP was there in a domain 7 in the previous syllabus, and DRM was still there in the domain 2. Okay, in the previous syllabus which is called 2018, DLP was part of a domain 7 and CASB was part of a domain 3. Okay, in cloud. But in domain in the 2021 syllabus, CASB, DLP and DRM, they merge it together because we understood this is a data security requirement that must be part of a domain 2, sorry. So in the new syllabus, they add all this content in a one domain. Clear? Excellent. So summary is in domain 2, only thing they introduce this EOL and EO support. Okay, in the existing topic of retention, they introduce the data maintenance. Okay, they have kept one important topic separated called data location, and they merge multiple topics from different domain into one, which is called CASB, DRM and DLP. Domain 3. Great. In domain 3, this 3.1, 3.1, actually in the 2018 syllabus, they give one tagline which is called implement and manage engineering process using a secure design principle. Actually, this is the tagline in the 2018 syllabus. But what they did in the 2021, they add one word which is called research, and they include subtopics. If you see the 2018 topic, if you download the course outline, you can see only the statement, and then the second statement was security model. But in the new syllabus, they have given the detail element what they're going to cover in that. Threat modeling is there already in the domain 1 we covering with the stride. So they add some part here also. Least privilege and defense. Least privilege was used to cover in the in 2018 in a domain 1, but now least privilege they have added in the domain 3. Defensive depth was the common topic which is covered in the domain 1, domain 3 and domain 7, but they added in a domain 3. Secure default was a new topic. Fail secure again is a new topic. SOD was there in the 2018 syllabus. Keep it simple is a new topic. Zero trust is a new topic which is there. Zero trust mean don't trust anyone. So it is a part of a 2021. It is a part of a 2021. Trust but verify 2021. Okay. Privacy by design is also 2021. So these are the topics which is part of the new syllabus of the CISSP. 1. Keep it simple. Zero trust. Privacy by design. Trust by verify. Privacy by design has the 7 principles. Okay, and that is, I feel that, okay, that can be important for the exam, because when you building any technology, what you need, you want, we say na security need to be introduced in a design phase itself. Why? We say na like security need to be introduced in the design phase of the SDLC or design phase of a system, because to save cost, right? Same like privacy also need to be introduced in the design phase. So if I'm building any kind of a mobile solutions and all that, in a design phase itself, introduce a privacy. Okay, we called this as a privacy by the technologies, and privacy embedded in the technology and privacy embedded in the design. So privacy by design, okay, it's important topic. They have some principles. Okay, when you do any kind of a privacy management certification, in that you will get a better visibility. So is that clear? Privacy by design. So this is part of the new syllabus. So it has several principles like, proactive, not active, privacy is the default settings, full functionality, end-to-end security, visibility, transparencies. So all those things are part of the privacy by design. So we're going to discuss that part also. So this part is the new topic. They are kept same, which was there in a 2018. In 2021 also they kept the same. BIBA model, STAR model, Bella Padula. It was there in a 2018, and in 2021 also they kept same. Only thing is that they added with the subsection. Then select controls based upon the system security requirement. It is a part of the old syllabus, and still it is a part of a new syllabus. There's no change. TPM was there in the old syllabus. Okay, memory protection was there in the old syllabus. 3.4 still there in the new syllabus and old syllabus same. But when it comes to assess and mitigate the vulnerabilities in the security architecture, the important topic is they introduce a containerization, microservices, and edge computing system and HPC. These are the new topics of 2021. Okay, microservices, containerization, serverless, high performance computing system, edge computing system. These are basically part of the new syllabus of 2021. Rest is same. IoT was there in a 2018. IoT was there in a 2018. Client-based, server-based, database, cryptography system, ICS, cloud-based, distributed system. Okay, all are basically part of the old syllabus. But what is part of a 2021 syllabus was this section. Is that clear? Now when it comes to select and determine the cryptography system, in this section, okay, so one thing is that which I personally feel very good, that they have removed one section which is called as a assess and mitigate the vulnerability in the web-based system. They remove that section from here. So they remove web-based system, that is removed. They remove the mobile system topic separately, it was there. So that is also removed. So assess and mitigate the vulnerability in the mobile system and assess and mitigate the vulnerability in the web-based system, mobile system and dedicated embedded devices. That topic here, it is basically removed. Okay. They only kept one which is called as a assess and mitigate vulnerabilities of the security architecture. Now when it comes to the cryptography, in the cryptography, it is same which is there in a 2018. Okay, no change. Cryptography always remain same. This is same. PKI is same. Key management, all these are same. Okay. In 2018, DRM was actually a part of the domain 3 and they removed the DRM from here and that add in a domain 1. Okay. So PKI is quite testable in the exam. Integrity is testable in the exam. Digital signature is quite testable in the exam. So you need to have a better understanding. The good thing is that they kept 3.7 which is called as a attack section separately. It was actually in the previous syllabus was a part under the cryptography solution only. But in this section, they kept the attack section separate. Okay. And fault injection is a part of a new syllabus 2021. Timing attack was a part of the new syllabus which is called 2021. Pass the hash is a part of the new syllabus, part of a new syllabus and part of the new syllabus. Rest is basically same. Is that clear? What I feel that, you know, this ransomware and pass the hash will be an important topic in CISSP for next 3 years because it's a common thing which we use for the attacks. Is it clear? Pass the hash. So here we capture the hash value. Actually, it was a very old attack, but they have kept it as a new pattern in this new syllabus. I was also shocked because Kerberos exploitation is also the old attack. So in the pass the hash, we basically using one tool which is called as a Mimikatz. Anyone aware about this? Mimikatz? What is Mimikatz? So in the pass the hash hacking technique, we allow the attacker to authenticate to a remote server by using the hash value. Okay. So instead of requiring the associate plaintext password, so it replaces the need for stealing the plaintext password. Okay. So, you know, AD exploitation is booming in the market. So Kerberos and pass the hash is a major target we use in a AD. That is why it is part of the new syllabus of 2021. The next part is called as a principle of site and facility. This is a physical security we talk about. We are doing a transition from a technical security to the physical security. It is same which is there in a 2018 syllabus, and in 2021 design, site and facility is also same which is there in a 2018. Okay. The only thing they introduce separate is power. This is the part of a new syllabus. Power. Power is the new topic. Do you think so power is required? We need a redundant power unit and we need a backup unit to maintain the availability of the hardwares. Rest is basically same. So summary is very simple. These are the new topic in 2021 which was not there in a 2018. Power is the new topic in 2021 which was not there in 2018. It was there in 2018 but in a domain 7 security operation but not fully. Then virtualized system, edge computing system, embedded, serverless, high performance computing system, containerization, microservices, these are part of a new syllabus, and they kept attack section separately, which was not there. I'm sure it gave you a good visibility till domain 3 what we have covered. Now next is called as a domain 4. In domain 4 they did a good reshuffling in domain 4 actually, because domain 4 normally in 2018 syllabus start with implement and secure design network architecture. We just talk about the OSI. So OSI, so they have changed the heading now. They are now telling this, which is called as a assess and implement secure design. Okay, assess and implement secure design principle and network architecture, which was in a previous syllabus was only talk about implement secure design and in network architecture. So it was a heading in a 2018, but in 2021 they have given the new heading, which is called assess and implement secure design. OSI is still there in the previous syllabus. It is there in a 2021. IP version 4, it is still there. IPsec is important in the exam, in which we're going to discuss about the modes. Modes are there, protocols are there, key management is there. IP version 4, their classes still there in the 2018 and 2021 it is there. When it comes to the secure protocol, actually secure protocol they used as a new tagline. Okay, secure protocols. Okay, in secure protocols we have authentication, we have a SSH, we have a IPsec, we have a SSL, we have a TLS. Then implication of a multi-layer protocol, it was still there in the old syllabus and it is still there in the new syllabus. You know what is the best thing is that they kept this multi-layer protocol from the converge protocol. In the previous syllabus they merged this as a one part, but now they have kept separate, where we FCOE, ISKZ and VoIP, which is still there in the old syllabus and there in the new syllabus. This is the new topic which is added in the 2021. Micro-segmentation. The best thing is that this is also part of a new version of CCSP. In the CCSP also this topic was introduced. It is a micro-segmentation, SDN and VXLAN. The reason of introducing a VXLAN, there is a limitation of a VLAN, and extending the VLAN we need a VXLAN, so that is why it is there. Extension of SDN is a SD-WAN, which is not there in a 2018 syllabus, so in 2021 it is there. Okay, then ZB, Li-Fi, this is the new topic. Wi-Fi was there, wireless was there, but ZigBee and Li-Fi is a new topic. 4G was there, but 5G is a new topic. CDN was there in the old syllabus. Okay, CDN was initially part of a secure network component, but they have kept as a now principle under the assess and implement. If you see the old syllabus, CDN is a part of the secure network component because it is used to achieve the availability. But this time what they did, CDN they kept as a part of a 4.1. So it is still a same, which is basically a domain in the 2018 syllabus. Ultimate goal of CDN was to introduce to maintain the availability. Then when it comes to secure network component, they introduced this redundant power and warranty support, which is not there in the old syllabus. It's a new element. It was there in the new syllabus, which is called as a operation of a hardware. Transmission media was the same, NAC is same, endpoint security same, and voice is same, third party same, remote same, data communication virtual network. What they introduced new, which is there in a 2021, which is called as a third party connectivity. This is a part of a new syllabus. It means introducing an external solution for securing network data. So third party connectivity is a new topic which is there in a 2021 syllabus. Any example of a third party connectivity? Third party connectivity. Citrix APIs that we used. Okay, that is basically a part of the third party. VDIs and all that. Okay, so summary is very simple, to the point. So 2021 2021 and this is 2021 2021 2021. Is that clear? Now domain 5, cakewalk. Now when it coming to the domain 5, which is called as a identity and access management, in this section we are going to discuss about the control physical. See, network is ready. Now in the network we talking about the controls so that subject can able to communicate with the object. So when you're talking about this domain 5, it's a very important domain from the exam point of view. Okay. So in this section, if you talk about the 5.1, what is that? 5.1 is your control physical logical access to the asset. Okay. So information system device facility was part of a 2018. They introduced a new thing which is called application, which is part of a 2021. So 2021, okay, in 2021 they're talking about the access for the application. So it is a part of a new syllabus which is not there in a 2018 application part. Then manage the identification authentication. It is a part of the old syllabus. It is a part of the old syllabus. It is there in the old syllabus. It is there on the old syllabus because identity management implementation is very important. Single factor is weaker, multi-factor is more secure. Something you know, something you are, something you have. So you need to have a good understanding of that. Accountability and session management is very important to manage accountability. Registration proof of identity was a part of the old syllabus where the user get registered. FIM, federated user is login in a one domain, access the resource of the domain, part of our old syllabus, part of the old syllabus of credential management. SSO is there, which is called Kerberos. Kerberos is very important for the exam point of view. Single point of failure. What they introduce a new topic which is called just in time. Just in time. So application and just in time. This is currently a part of a 2021. So what is just in time? Any idea? It's a management strategy that align the suppliers or directly with the production schedules. So company employ the inventory strategy to increase the efficiency and decrease the waste. Okay. And sometimes what happen, we are trying to access from anywhere on the fly, whatever we have. So from that point of view, this introduce a new concept now, which is called as a just in time. You can access from anywhere. Like you can access your machine from anywhere, but what are the do and don'ts we have that we need to understand? Is it clear? So it is a methodology where the organization can give elevate human and non-human user a real time to provide the granular level privilege to an application systems in order to perform the necessary task. So cybersecurity industry analysts recommend the JIT access as a way of provisioning the secure privileged access by minimizing a standing access. So JIT is a very important topic nowadays. Yes, it is basically used to enforce the principle of least privilege to ensure user and non-human identity are given the minimum level of access when they perform. Is that clear? So we have a three type of just-in-time access, broker and remove. Then we have a ephemeral account. And third is called as a temporary elevations. Okay, so broke and remove access, ephemeral account and temporary elevations. So we're going to discuss about what is basically just in time. We're giving them necessary on the spot access to perform this activity. So this is a part of the new syllabus, just in time. Then we have a next part which is called federation. So on-prem is same, cloud is same. Hybrid is a new topic which is there. Hybrid mean combination of on-prem and cloud-based solution, which is called like an in-house AD with Office 365 and all that. What is the pros and cons that we need to understand? So in hybrid is a part of a 2021 syllabus. So it was federation, but they have replaced this. RBAC is same, part of old syllabus. MAC, part of the old syllabus. DAC, ABAC was a part of the old syllabus. What they introduced new, which is called risk-based access control. It is a part of a new topic. Risk-based access control is a part of a new topic. Okay, so summary so far is in domain 5, application is a part of a new syllabus. JL, just in time, is a part of the new syllabus. Hybrid was a part of the new syllabus. Risk-based control is a part of a new syllabus. Rest is same. Then we have a account access. Okay, so when you're talking about the manage the identity and access provisioning lifecycle, it was initially a user access review, but now they have removed that and given the new tagline, which is called account access review, where we're talking about giving access to user, system and services. Provisioning and deprovisioning was still there in the old syllabus. Role definition, it is a new part. Role definition is part of a new syllabus. Okay, privilege escalation is a part of new syllabus. It was not there in the old CISSP. Actually, in the 2018, they have not openly talked about OIDC and OAuth. Okay, not directly. But this time what happened, they have given the dedicated module in the domain 5, which is called as a implemented authentication system. It was still there in the old syllabus. So OIDC, OAuth is there in the old syllabus. SAML was there in the old syllabus. Kerberos is there in the old syllabus. Radius and TACAS was a part of a domain 4, but they added in the domain 5. This is the thing which they have introduced externally. So you should know the thin line difference between the OIDC and OAuth. You should know what is SAML, what is the difference between the Radius and TACAS plus. This is a very, very important topic from the exam point of view. 5.6. So controls has been defined. Then we have our domain 6, which is called as a security assessment and testing. In this section, they have discussed about design and validate assessment, test and audit strategy. It means my controls are ready, now we need to assess. Same 2018 and 2021 is same. There's no change in that. In conducting a security control testing, VA, PT, log review, synthetic code review testing, misuse case, all are there in a 2018 syllabus. But what they introduce in a 2021, which is called as a compliance check and breach attack simulation. Are you guys aware about this breach attack simulation? Breach attack simulation. Breach attack simulation is basically a new concept in the industry. Okay, so this exercise led by the seasoned security professionals, okay, and staged under the control environment. We have a red and blue team exercise, which is basically perform these activities. So we have a breach and attack simulation, which is a platform solve this issue by performing many of the same critical functions as the red team and blue team does, but in a continuous and automatic parameters. Is it clear? So we have a simulators which assess and validate the most current attack techniques, which is used by the APT and other malicious entities. It can simulate the malware attack on the endpoint, data exfiltration, malware attack, and sophisticated APT attack. I believe CrowdStrike provide this solution, right? CrowdStrike is there, right? CrowdStrike. So by combining the red and blue team technique, which is called pervert team who perform all these activities. So breach tech simulation ultimate goal is to simulate the malware attack, data filtration, malwares and everything, okay? So it is an advanced testing method and these simulations identify the vulnerability in the security environment by mimicking like an attacker and perform the attack against the target systems. And compliance check is another topic which basically talk about how much we are compliant with the organization regulatory requirement and all that. So this is basically part of the new syllabus. Compliance check, okay? Then when it comes to, so this is part of a new syllabus, okay? Next is called as a collect and security process data, where we have a account management is a part, it is still there. It's old 2020, 18, 2021 same. Management review and approval same. Key performance and risk indicator same. Backup verification data is same. Training and awareness is same. BCDR. This entire module is same which is there in a 2018 if you download the course outline. Now analyze test output. Okay, these still are part of the 2018, the tagline, but what is they introduce the new part which is called as a ethical disclosure and remediation, which was not there in the 2018 syllabus. Okay, ethical disclosure. Whatever the process we have, according to that, we can disclose the data. Okay, ethical disclosure. So ethical disclosure, what do you think? It is a cybersecurity term? See, vulnerability disclosure is a practice of publishing the information related to the security vulnerability we have found in the software. Okay. And the purpose for such disclosure is to inform the customer of the potential risk so that they can take the action. The question here is basically whether or not to disclose a newly found vulnerability. Okay, because that is, they have some kind of a sensitive or important data. So as a trusted provider, we want to inform the customer of issue that could impact the operations. So that's why, however, releasing too much information about the vulnerability could quickly, potentially, attacker can use it and try to perform the same attack. So we are introducing a policies in the organization which outline how to disclose the informations. Is it clear? So goal of ethical disclosure is what is the communication we have, a predictable manner to the customer, and empower our customer, not would be the attacker. So information should be disclosed in such a manner, it should not impact anything. Explain what is happening, communicate what is important, and disclose only the information which is relevant to the customer. So what need to be considered that we introduce a dedicated policy for that. That is called as the ethical disclosure policies and report according to that policy only. So that is a part of a 2021 syllabus. Conduct or facilitate security audit, it's same. So it's the same topic of 2018 which is there in a 2021. So summary is simple. In the 2021, the new topic was there which is called as these two topic. And this topic and this topic, and rest is same. Now next is this, nothing has been removed, okay, in the domain 6, neither in the domain 5, neither in the domain 4. They just added, they have not removed anything, they just added this content. Now domain 7. In domain 7, so far, before going to understand domain 7, so far is it clear to everyone? Hope my flow of communication is okay. English is not my first language. I'm trying my best to speak on a neutral English, which can be understood by everyone. If any grammatical mistakes are there, apologize. Okay. Domain 7 is security operation. What do you think? Is it an easy domain? Domain 7. I have seen a lot of students failed in CISSP because of domain 7. And they fail because of two reasons. Overconfidence. I know everything. I'm a SOC guy, SOC guy. I manage SOC team. That guy is the one who first failed this exam. And his team member cleared this exam. So this domain is very important. Okay. So when in talking about this domain, the first part we're going to understand is understand and comply the requirement. Okay. So understand and comply the investigation. In this section, we're going to discuss evidence collection. It's still part of the old syllabus. Okay, evidence collection was there in the old syllabus. Reporting and documentation is a part of old syllabus. Because now everything has been implemented, we need to manage the security. Okay. Investigation technique, part of old syllabus. digital forensic is a part of our old syllabus. And what they introduced, the new part, which is called as the artifacts. Artifacts, these are the new topic. Okay, we're talking about the evidence related to the computer attack, mobiles, security, mobile devices. This is the part of our 2021 syllabus. This is part of the 2021 syllabus. Then the second part is called as a conduct logging. Actually, there is a one section was there, understand the requirement for investigation type in 2018, 7.2. They 7.2, which is called understand requirement for investigation type, they added in the domain 1 and they removed from this because they thought that, okay, they're continuously talking about compliance, so we can cover that topic in the compliance itself. So conduct logging and monitoring activity, IDS, which is called as the intrusion detection and monitoring activity, it is still part of the old syllabus. Okay. SIM was there in the old syllabus. Continuous monitoring was there in the old syllabus. Egress monitoring was there on old syllabus. Log management also in the old syllabus. But what they introduced in the new syllabus was threat intelligence and UEBA. And because this is required in the industry. These are the new topics which is there in the new syllabus. They have not removed anything. They add 2 extra in this, which is called as a threat intelligence and UEBA. Threat intelligence and UEBA. So threat intelligence is a new topic. Do you think so threat intelligence nowadays very important in the exam? See, when you're talking about the threat intelligence, it is a knowledge that allow you to prevent or mitigate the cyber attacks. Okay. So threat intelligence give you a context which help you to makes the informed decisions about the security by answering the question like who is attacking you, what their motivations and capability, what indicators they have. So all those things will be there. So in threat intelligence, we broke into 3 categories. Can I give you high level here? So you have a better visibility when we are going to cover this. So in the threat intelligence, we have a 3 category. One is called as a strategic. Second is called as a tactical. And third is called as a operational. I repeat, one is called a strategic, second is called as a tactical, and third is called as a operational. So when I say strategic, it is broader trend typically mean for a non-technical audience. Tactical is the outline of the tactics, techniques, and procedures for the threat actor for a more technical audience. And operational is basically a detail about a specific attack and campaign. Okay. So threat intelligence is only useful when it gives you context. You need to make an informed decision and take the actions based on that. So that is basically called as a threat intelligence. Then second is basically called as a UEBA. UEBA is called as a user and entity behavior and analytics. So see, hacker normally break into the firewall, send you emails with a malicious and infected attachment, right? So old tools and systems are quickly become obsolete to discover that. So now what we have is UEBA. So UEBA gives you a more comprehensive way to make sure your organization has a top-notch IT security and also helping you to detect the user and entities that might compromise the systems. So in the UEBA, it is a kind of a cybersecurity process which takes the notes of the normal conduct of the user actually, okay? And in turn, they detect any kind of an anomaly behavior or instance when they are deviate from the normal pattern. For example, if the particular user regularly download 100 MB of the file every day and suddenly they're downloading a gigabytes, the system will basically detect that anomaly and alert them immediately. So what can be testable in the exam, what I understood, or what can be the parameter of UEBA, they can ask about what kind of a language they use. They use a machine language. They're going to use a machine learning, sorry, not machine language, machine learning. Okay. They're using a statistical analysis to know the deviations. Okay. So all these things are part of the new syllabus of 2021. So UEBA was a part of a 2021. Threat intelligence was a part of the 2021. Then the next topic, which is basically there called as a perform the configuration management. You will be surprised to know that they have given there was a dedicated topic. Actually, configuration management was a part of a domain 2 in the 2018. But in the 2021, they kept this configuration management as a separate topic, in which provisioning the configuration, creating a baseline automations, because configuration management is a base, is basically mapped with the change management, patch management, everything. So if you can see here, they have introduced a new section, a configuration management in a 2021 syllabus, which is not there in the 2018. Okay. Then when you're talking about this least privilege, it is there in a 2018. This is there in a 2018. This is there in a 2018. Job rotation there in a 2018. SLA was there in a 2018. Even apply resource protection. This is a part of a new syllabus. Okay, apply the resource protection. It's part of a new syllabus. Not defined properly, because in the 2018 they used to call this as a apply resource protection, but the technique, and now they have given the new name called apply resource protection. So media management, media protection technique, this is the new name they have given, because in the 2018 it is used to called as a hardware and software asset management. Okay, hardware and software asset management. Now next topic we have called conduct incident management process, where we're talking about 7.6. Okay, this is there. Detection, response, mitigation, reporting, recovery, remediation, lesson learned. This is a part of the, this is same in 2018, it is same in 2021. Okay, operate and maintain detective preventive measure. It is still there in the 2018 and still there in the 2021 as the same tagline. The only thing they introduced here is next generation is a part of a new syllabus. Web application, firewall and network is a part of a new syllabus. This is a new syllabus. IDIS remain same. Whitelisting, third-party provider security service also same. Sandboxing is there. Machine learning and artificial intelligence based tool. This is the part of a new syllabus. Okay, this is old. This is old. Okay, this is old. And DR process very important for the exam. Okay, it is the second part of the BCP which is there in the domain 1. So this is important in the exam. This is important in the exam. Okay, and rest all are basically same. Now we have a domain 8 which is called as a software development security. In this section we're going to discuss about agile, which is there in the old syllabus. Waterfall there in the old syllabus. DevOps was there in the old syllabus. Actually they have not documented the course outline in the 2018, but what was there in the syllabus, but this time they have introduced and they have put it as a tagline DevSecOps, which was not there in the 2018 syllabus. So it is there in the 2021. SAM was a new part. CMI was there in the old syllabus, because once the application is ready, we need to assess the application for the maturity point of view. So that part is covered here. Okay. So SAM is basically testable in the exam, which is called as a software assurance maturity model. Okay. That provide an effective and measurable way for all type of an organization to analyze and improve their software from a security point of view. So SAM is important part of the syllabus. Okay. And DevSecOps is an important part of a syllabus. Now, when it comes to the 8.2 here, identify and apply security control. In the previous syllabus, they are limited to only 3 things. And the best thing is that is basically called as a configuration management, security of code repository. So they have used this security. So this is the old syllabus, code repository. Then security of the software environment. So now what happened is they introduced programming language. They merged from the previous syllabus and they kept it as a one module. Programming language was a part of our old syllabus. Library was a part of our old syllabus. Toolset is a new part, 2021. IDE is a 2021 new syllabus. Runtime is a 2021. CI/CD is a part of a new syllabus. SOAR is part of a new syllabus. So what is SOAR, team? Any idea? SOAR. What is SOAR? Collection of a software solutions. Collection is basically referred to the collection of a software solutions and tool which allow the organization to streamline the security operation in a 3 areas. One is basically called as a threat and vulnerability management. Okay, incident response and security operation automations. Okay. So to break down, so security automation is the automatic handling of the security operation task, and security orchestration refer to a method of connecting the security tool and integrating the disparate security system. Okay. And nowadays organization is proactively using that and they develop their own modules. So that is why they have added that part of a domain 8. So SOAR is a part of a new syllabus. SSCM is a part of a new syllabus. SAST, DAST was a part of the domain 5 actually, domain 6 actually. But they have given the new topic here, SAST, DAST, which is quite testable in the exam. Okay, SAST means when you have access source code and doing the testing, when applications are running parallelly be doing an assessment, that is called DAST. So SAST and DAST is testable in the exam. Assess and effectiveness of the software security. It is still there in the old syllabus. Assess security impact of the acquired software. This is a new topic. Actually, they used to test so far also COTS in the exam, but they never reveal as a separate course outline. But this time they have revealed this as a separate course outline. So COTS is very, very important in the exam. Open source, third party. This is the completely new section. Okay, assess the security impact of the acquired software. They used to give only tagline, assess and security, but there's no sub-content. But the COT is there in the exam in 2021. Open source, third party, and managed services. This is a new section that is added in the 2021. And next is called define, where the security weakness part of the old syllabus. API was the part of the old syllabus. Secure coding practice part of the old syllabus. Software defined security is a part of a new syllabus, 2021. 2021. So I'm sure you got a visibility. Okay, so approx 15 to 20% is a new topic. Rest is basically same. Database is not there. You're lucky. So it is my suggestion. See, you cannot decide whether, no, this is there in the syllabus, right? So I will basically give, you get a recording access of this, Satrajit. So this is the one. Sorry. Okay. I'm sure you get a better visibility now. What will be strategy you have to consider? Sorry for this. Don't worry, I will basically